Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council for Tuesday, June 14th, 2022. We have meeting announcements. All council meetings will be live streamed on the city's website. Will the clerk please take the roll call?
Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Kraus. Here. Mr. Lavelle.
Here.
Mr. O'Connor. Ms. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mrs. Kell-Smith, President.
Here.
8 members present.
Thank you. As we join from our remote locations, please rise for the and in person, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing if you can for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. And our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The agenda is amended. The next order of business is proclamations. We have one to be presented by Councilwoman Gross and myself for Khalil's Restaurant. Will Khalil's please come forward? Come up here with Councilwoman Gross. Yeah. However you get here, just get here.
You can come right over here. Great. Just for the audience record, this is we're here to celebrate Khalil's Restaurant, and I am so grateful to Councilwoman Smith for bringing this proclamation and inviting me to be a co-sponsor, because I have long enjoyed your restaurant, but I've never met you. I apologize, and I'm really glad to see you here today. I appreciate your wonderful restaurant. So I'm going to just read the whole thing, and then we'll give you a chance to say a few words. Okay. Whereas Khalil's Restaurant is celebrating their 50th anniversary with a weekend celebration Friday and Saturday, June 17th through 18th, 2022. And whereas Khalil's was founded by the late Mikhail and Agnes Khalil in 1972 and has been serving the finest Middle Eastern cuisine and genuine hospitality for 50 years. Whereas Mikhail was originally from the Christian village of Miklos in Syria. He was a Syrian immigrant farmer and laborer. Agnes was born in Pittsburgh, where she worked as a supervisor at the former Nabisco Bakery in East Liberty. In 1956, Agnes traveled to her family's home village of Miklos, Syria, where she learned of her prearranged marriage to a farmer named Mikhail. And whereas Mikhail eventually joined Agnes in the Oakland neighborhood of the city of Pittsburgh, and began working as a butcher at Omar Khayyam on Baum Boulevard in 1960. In 1972, Mikhail and Agnes opened their own successful restaurant on Semple Street in Oakland. And whereas in 1977, Mr. Mikhail and his wife bought Omar Khayyam, the restaurant he formerly worked in, and renamed it Khalil's. 3 years later, they opened a third cafeteria-style restaurant in Oakland. And whereas eventually they closed 2 restaurants and kept Khalil's on Baum Boulevard, where they ran the business together until Agnes passed in 2003. The delicious cuisine brought people in, and Agnes's gracious and beautiful personality kept them coming back. And whereas throughout the decades, other relatives from Syria joined them here, working in the restaurants and building American lives of their own. Sadly, Mikhail passed away in 2018, and his daughters, Layla and Dalal, took over running the family restaurant. And therefore, now be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby honor the legacy of the late Mikhail and Agnes Khalil, who served with humility, kindness, generosity, and the love of God, and congratulate Khalil's on their 50th anniversary. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Friday, June 17th, 2022, to be Mikhail and Agnes Khalil, founders of Khalil's Restaurant Day in the city of Pittsburgh.
Can we have a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Proclamation's approved. Congratulations. Councilwoman Gross goes first because it's her district.
Well, absolutely. I just want to say congratulations once again, and thank you for all of your years of work and on the creation of these spaces that I think bring joy to all of us. It's so wonderful to have businesses like yours in the city of Pittsburgh for everyone to come and celebrate together. And we wouldn't be able to do that without wonderful institutions like yours. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for all that you do. It's always a pleasure to highlight Middle Eastern families and the success that they're having, especially in the city of Pittsburgh. It's my honor to be able to have that opportunity to do that. Thank you for all that you do, because you also do a lot of fundraisers across the city of Pittsburgh and to benefit many people. And you could talk a little bit about that if you want when you get up there. But thank you for all that you do for Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Right, can you come up and introduce yourselves and have the microphone?
So my name is Dalal Khalil. My sister Layla is the sister that we were talking about that we reopened the restaurant. She's in New York at the fancy food show with her salad dressing. But I'm kind of overwhelmed, and I don't know what to say exactly, but I wrote some notes down. We are so honored. Thank you, Council President Smith and Councilwoman Gross and all of City Council for recognizing our parents and the legacy that they brought to Pittsburgh. Little known fact: my great grandmother peddled. She came off the boat from Syria, and she peddled in the Hill District. And my grandfather worked in the steel mills. So we have a long-rooted history in Pittsburgh. We are just so grateful to be recognized. My father lived the American dream. He came here, a farmer. Didn't speak English, worked in the tunnels and all that, and just worked hard, and then brought everybody over and helped people. There's too much to talk about in 50 years. But his main mission in life was to feed people and to help people. And we truly try to carry that on in our restaurant now. And the cultural contributions are enormous, and we try to bring Syria to everybody so we can make this world a little smaller and more beautiful, and we share each other. I hope you all come to this anniversary celebration, because it's going to be a big party. But, I just want to say one last thing. This is a great city, and we're so proud to be part of this city officially. And I'm just overwhelmed because, when the restaurant opened, when my dad put his first shish kebab on the fire, the Vietnam War was still going on. Nixon was president, and it was only 3 years after the moon landing. And we stayed this whole time. It's because of the people of Pittsburgh embraced us. We wouldn't be in business if they didn't. So on that note, because I can ramble on and there's a lot of meetings to go to, thank you all so much. Thank you, Council President Smith, for thinking of us. You didn't have to do this, and you did it. And we're so humbled, and you honor our parents' legacy. We're so humbled. Thank you so much. And this is my brother, Michael. Thank you.
Okay. I'll just say a couple words. Thank you so much. The city of Pittsburgh gave so much opportunity to my mom, my dad, who brought 42 people to this country, and they became very productive citizens and doing the right thing. And my dad was a great example. He until now, people still look up to my dad in church and business and just doing the right thing. So we just want to say thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? This is your time. Say what you want.
Again, thank you, the city of Pittsburgh. I just want to also say something. My parents, they started the business, and but more importantly, they gave to the homeless shelters. My father would make food every Sunday night fresh for Light a Light mission. Wasn't leftover food. We always had the homeless, the poor, anybody that didn't have a job or couldn't eat. They were hungry. They'd come to the back door, and my dad would make sure that they were fed. My mother housed many people, didn't have a home for, So, and that's what's important. And they always gave. And involved in so many different charities, and, you know, it was just a beautiful experience. So thank you, City of Pittsburgh Councilman, and for, you know, allowing us to be here and, you know, remembering, you know, and thank God my family still, charity is always number one for us. We're always giving, and that's what's important in life. Thank you. God bless you all.
Hi, thank you, City of Pittsburgh, and my name is Michael.
Thank you.
If I can just, if you can indulge me for one last second, there's too much to talk about, but I really need to tell this story. Very long story short, my father had a stroke. He was rendered paralyzed. He couldn't speak. He couldn't eat. He couldn't do anything for himself. We were watching Katrina on the TV. This just epitomizes who they are. We're watching TV. He's screaming at me, watching the TV. I'm like, Baba, what do you want, water? Does your back hurt? What do you need? When I found out what my father was trying to tell me, I broke down and cried. He was yelling at me. What are you doing sitting on the couch when there are people suffering? Do something. Get food for them. Get money for them. And this is my father, who was completely helpless and depended on a mercy from us, was at that moment still concerned about other people. That's their legacy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to add, our families both came from the Hill District and were displaced from the Hill, but I think it was actually the mentality of the Hill back then, where everybody just embraced everybody and helped everyone. And I wish we'd get back to that in the city of Pittsburgh. Other members want to come up for the photo?
Hold this in front of them. It's kind of pretty. Careful that doesn't fall out. I hope to. I will try to do that.
I just want one more hug, because I love you. Thank you so much. We're going to bring two dearest dancing shoes.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'll be there. I'll sit. Councilman Gross and I will be there. And I think if the others want to come, they'll come.
Nice job.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And we have one to be read into the record for Councilman Kraus and 3 for Councilman O'Connor.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill number 438. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Thursday, June 30th, 2022, to be a Rodna Oliphant Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 462. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Thursday, June 16, 2022, to be Sis Lloyd Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Councilman O'Connor also presents Bill number 463. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Wednesday, June 15, 2022, as Elder Abuse Awareness Day in the City of Pittsburgh. And Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 464. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Thursday, June 16, 2022, to be New Leaders Council of Pittsburgh Class of 2022 Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
Can I have a motion to approve in a second?
Motion to approve. Very brief discussion, please.
In a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Proclamations are approved. Councilman Kraus?
Hi, good morning, Madam President.
Good morning.
Thank you. I just wanted to speak to Proclamation 438 in recognizing Rodna Oliphant and the work that she has done through Leadership Pittsburgh for, I've lost count of the years. I know it exceeds a decade and probably longer. I was privileged to be a Leadership Pittsburgh graduate back in, probably 10 years ago, and am proud to call Aradna not just a mentor, but a personal friend. And as she and Grant leave to pursue their new life in California, I could not let the moment pass to say just how deeply we care for Aradna, her contribution to not just Pittsburgh, but this entire region. And she will be irreplaceable. I don't know what we'll do without her, but we wish her only the very best in her new pursuit and all the happiness she deserves. So thank you, Madam President. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilwoman Gross.
Thank you, Madam President. I also want to commend and congratulate Aradna and Grant, but Aradna as well. I think I met Aradna in 1999, and I believe she was the executive director of Children's Musical Theater, which had a festival each year, I think, on the north side. And so she moved on from there to even bigger, more impactful things for the region. Certainly, she's touched so many lives and strengthened and helped create and strengthen that kind of network that we refer to often in the city, that we're only really like half a degree of separation, where other parts of the world or the country are 6 degrees of separation. And it's that kind of strong network of shared ideas that I think has been transformative, and other people have recognized Pittsburgh as having transformed itself. We still, of course, have much work to do in front of us. That work will probably be more difficult without Aradna convening people and convening conversations, but we certainly wish both the Oliphants well, and good luck to you both.
Thank you. Any other members? Councilwoman Strasburger?
Yes, and I'll also say a few words about Aradna. We met when we served on the Pittsburgh Parking Authority board together, and it was the most fun board to serve on with Aradna there. It was just a joy to see her in action and see her leadership in action. And what I appreciate most about her is that she's a super connector who is so generous with the connections that she has, and always looking to make sure that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts when it comes to the talent in Pittsburgh, and making sure people are working together. So I'll really miss that about her here and her presence here in Pittsburgh, and I wish her all the best in California.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other members? I'll just say thank you to the Oliphants for everything that they've done in the city of Pittsburgh, even though at one point I told Grant he could leave my office. But I would just say it was a very shaky beginning, but we ended up with a slightly better relationship. But one of the things I did promise him was grape leaves. I have to tell Khalil's, I promised him grape leaves, and I never got to give them to him because he told me he was a vegetarian. I thought, okay, you're done. So I have to take him to Khalil's. That's it for me. Anything else from other members? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our next order of business, which is public comment. And do you want to say a few words? Yeah. I just want to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before city council. Threats, profanity will not be permitted. And I'll have the city council solicitor make a few comments first. Thank you.
Good morning, Dan Friedson, solicitor to city council. I just wanted to follow up. Councilman Coghill had asked me a question about what happens last time I was up here, and I artfully avoided answering the question. But we've talked, and essentially, if you're out of order, you'll get a gavel. He has to get in order. If you remain out of order, you'll be reminded. And if you remain out of order after that, you might be asked to leave for the day. And this is to kind of just remind you that we have to maintain decorum while we're doing the people's business. And again, it's appreciated, and we respect everybody who comes down here, sends in their comments. You're encouraged to criticize your elected officials, their policies and how they conduct the people's business, but we ask you to please keep our children, our spouses, and our babies out of it. Some speech goes beyond words, and it creates a physical trigger in the audience that cannot easily or reasonably be expected to pass, and that is distracting from the realm of common decency, and it fails to maintain decorum. So if you find yourself traveling into triggering people or into cursing, you'll be asked to be brought into order, and keep your comments to the people's business, please. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll start with our first registered speaker. I believe it's Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller. Yes, Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller. Good morning, Dr. Miller.
Vote-by-voter verification is key to what I do. Global Intelligence Society, U.S. National Candidate for President 2024. A concern of this council is to attend to educational and entrepreneurial achievement of Pittsburgh. That's what we had just a few moments ago with Ms. Oliphant, and also the leaders, the new Pittsburgh leaders. I hope that there are also Republicans involved and non-Democrats all the way around involved in that enterprise. They influence legislative action via, we hope, the high-level information and intelligence. An example is 2022-0395, $2.5 million for the CBD Signals Phase 4, although that's not explained enough, I don't think, in the materials. So a few RLM achievements during dissertation research on 2 separate PhDs. It's part of the reason I'm here. University of Oxford, I had appointments at St. Cross College, Center for Jewish Studies, where I worked on the formation of modern Israel, and their focus on science as a way up, and St. Anthony's College, where Institute of Japanese Studies, where I worked on the formation of modern Nihon, Japan. Again, science on the way up. My Oxford physics instructor, my main one, was Dr. Roger Penrose, who is a Nobelist in physics, Mr. Entangled Professor. My Oxford chemistry instructor was Dr. Ahmed Zawahir, Nobelist in chemistry, femtosecond man. And in biology, my main instructor was Dr. Paul Nurse, Nobelist in medicine and physiology, the gene CDKI cell division person. At the University of London, at the same time, I had an appointment at the London School of Economics, Department of International History, where I worked on the Nichie Dome, which is the Anglo-Japanese Alliance of 1902. And my main instructor was Ian Nish, who was the expert then in all of England on that matter. University of Pittsburgh, at the same time. I had appointments in 2 departments where my main instructors were Roland Robertson and Alexander Orbach. Relevant to this council directly, all of this taught me that academics can be very narcissistic and neurotic and slimy. So I turned to governance. And what I find is something similar in the way that counselors and others deal with this. You all need to look at Columbus, Ohio Council.
Our next registered speaker is Millie Sass. Millie online.
Here I am. Millie Sass from Oak Cliff. I'm sorry if you're tired of my comments about 2021-1906. Please listen up and reject it. Last night there was a town hall Zoom meeting about 1906. Thanks to Councilman Kraus for hosting that. It was not a complaint session. There were many online who were probably in favor of the legislation. I don't know if it was recorded or not, but there were about 35 people with about 10 people speaking on different topics, all negative about the legislation and the process. Some comments were about excessive height massing. Some were about encroachment of university uses into South Oakland. Some were about the substantive changes that were made along the line as it came back to you for consideration. Mr. Kamen tried to tell us that that's how zoning works, but we've listened closely enough to know that the process should not have started with a letter from Mayor Peduto to council. So what we will see, even in the Post-Gazette this morning, are very tall and long buildings with the associated spot zoning along Helgett Street and very little community input. After a number of questions and negative comments, Councilman asked for some positive support comments. None were offered. And in the chat, we saw the comment. That says a lot. About the spot zoning of residents, I'm going to get back to. We heard from City Council that along Helgett that the change to UCMU was made by the request of owners. So my question is, does that mean that my neighbors who live on a portion of Niagara Street that's bordered by old Isley's and the old Westinghouse research site, real Pittsburgh talk there, can also ask for spot zoning so that they can be part of UCMU? Will that mean that we will see this popping up all over Oakland and the city? In the Oakland plan, why were the buildings at Hudson, along a large real estate company along Craft Avenue, changed from residential to UCMU? At the owner's request without notifying the neighbors? Is that spot zoning too? I really don't know, and I don't understand why. Well, I don't understand it. There were a lot of vague responses made by Mr. Kamen last night, like we have no plans, we can't make a promise sometime about things in the future. Lots of wiggle room to be expected after we have seen them push through their signature building project, tearing down buildings, digging a big hole at the corner of Halkett and Fifth, only to sell the whole site to Pitt. And we've yet to see the wording of some document that states that the whole tile, I have to say it, Councilman Kraus, the front, back, and sides of Isley will be retained in situ. Somehow that document got lost in the process, and what will it really look like? Walnut Capital implies that we should be grateful that they will bring real neighbors to walk to work. Well, we do that already. And on the ground floor retail, they tout. But we see other buildings where that has been proposed and built, but we see no retail in Skyview on Forbes Avenue or Fifth Avenue. This is true of other buildings throughout the city. Promises of vibrant business district, but really just empty storefronts. I hope you have a chance to look at our 3D model that Oak Cliff prepared to show 1906, and there's a link from the Oak Cliff Community Organization website. And I also want to say you encourage public input, so please recognize mine in the spirit in which I give.
Thank you. And that exhausts our list of registered speakers. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address City Council? Good morning, Mr. Ludwig. Take your time.
Madam President, I take special note. My name is Les Ludwig, 6589 Rosemere Street, Pittsburgh, 15217. I take special note of your own statement this morning, Madam President, of your need for a walker. And if you would get a prescription from an appropriate medical source, I will make every effort to make sure that you get one in order to protect your health. Now to turn to why am I here today? I missed 11 days and many meetings because I had COVID, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to be here. But I have a special honor today, and that is to present to you a potential for solution to the terrible death toll that's occurring and has occurred on the south side, but it's going to spread, unfortunately, probably throughout the city. So it's the responsibility of this council to look at this as a continuum of safety, and that Councilman O'Connor, who unfortunately isn't present, I'm sure he's watching, will work to implement ideas that are spread over 55 years of service to the citizens of our community. A man with 30 years of captaincy, of being the captain of the police force of the city of Pittsburgh. And with that, I turn over whatever time I have left to Dan Quinlan.
No. He can register next.
He
can come to speak next.
As the next speaker,
Yeah.
so that he can tell you what he brings to the table in life experience. And I think that we would all gain by listening carefully to it.
Thank you, Mr. Ludwig. Can we
pleasure.
start the timer over, please? Next speaker, please.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Dan Quinlan. I come from a policing family. My dad, my one brother. I served 55 years with the Bureau of Pittsburgh Police, retired with the rank of commander, including supervising the homicide unit. It was my experience, and what I've learned from other police and citizens, is that often these homicides are the result of minor crimes. A crap game on the corner, an illegal sale of alcohol or after-hour sales, even down to illegal parking or where somebody walks their dog. It may sound minor, but sometimes these situations escalate into more violent situations, including homicide. So my recommendation is that the police spend more time not arriving after a problem, but interacting with the police. I was part of the community-oriented policing, where we would park a radio car, one officer would remain, and the other officer would get out and walk and interact with citizens. Something such, again, as minor situations, kids playing ball on the street, that sometimes might escalate up. So I'm suggesting that our police need to be more interactive with citizens, hear their minor complaints, and just get to know them on a one-to-one basis. Thank you for your time. Oh, yeah, another suggestion, and I feel this is most important, those of you that have had any interaction, is the use of police canine dogs. Sometimes that's interpreted as an aggressive move by police. I had 2 police dogs. My kids rode them like horses when they were little. They interacted. People responded. They wanted to take photographs. They were more inclined to approach the officer, want to take photographs, let their kids pet the dogs. So I think that's a good use of police responsibility by having police officers with a canine dog walking in the neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service to Pittsburgh, too. Next speaker, please. Any further speakers? Ms. Brown, good morning.
My name is Yvonne F. Brown. I live in the Hill District at 715 Mercer Street. And what I would like to say to our last speaker, when you said to get the dogs, when they took the dogs in our schools, Pittsburgh Public Schools, the dog snapped the black child. We sent him back to retrain that dog, $10,000. They brought him back into school and he snapped another black child. You remember the dog was chasing the actor? The little boy was up, black child, up on the porch, up on the steps. That dog stopped chasing that person and took and bit the child. So they teaching them when you have the dogs with black hands, and we was telling them black hands, he said, oh no, well, we got a white face. The dog ain't looking at no face. He's looking at the hands. If you got black hands, they bite you. And I know it. I walked across the bridge and the dog started barking at me. I said, what? White people walking, he didn't bark. The black man came past, I heard him barking. I said, did he bark at you? Yeah. Got to the very end, another black man, the dog actually tried to jump out the truck to get him at the bus stop. So you can't say that they should be with our children. Now, yesterday, Mr. Burgess, when I asked you if you had ate, because the prisoners were saying they're eating feces, and one had the mouse, half a mouse up in the air. Now, I was at the prisoners oversight board. Now, this is where I heard it. I ain't been in the prison to know. But you said you ate with them. Don't make no difference. I'm saying to the families, he says I'm a liar, and don't worry about your families, he said. 14 men that died in this jail. I don't know what years, but they said it at the review board. I'm telling you, write your families and ask them to write you, well, what they're eating. What are they eating? Then send a letter to the president and send me one too, because I want to know what they're eating, even though he says he ate with them. You know they have special dishes in the back when guests come. My time is up. Oh, no, it ain't. I still have time. I love to speak because I'm trying to save lives, sir. They make the decision whether we live or die. But when we come down here, they don't want to hear me. They'll chase me out here like I'm a dog. I've been coming 20-something years. I'm going to still come. I'm fighting for our lives. I'm fighting for the poor people's lives, black people. Because you don't give a damn about us. Excuse me. Okay, hit the gavel. I shouldn't have said that bad word. Sorry. Didn't mean to do it. But I get upset when I know you make the decisions on our lives. And we can't come down and say nothing. If I say something, you chase me out. And Kraus, why you keep letting Kraus keep on interrupting? You had the white man last week, he took and said a bad word. Didn't nobody hit the gavel or say nothing. You have Kraus taking and answering people, but you won't answer me.
Thank you. Have a good day, Ms. Brown. Next speaker, please. Are there any further speakers in the audience wishing to address City Council? Seeing no further speakers, we move on to our next order of business, which is the presentation of papers. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for coming out to speak. Okay, thank you. Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess, Chair of Urban Recreation.
No new papers.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. And Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
You're welcome.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill Number 449, Resolution authorizing the Mayor and Director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement with Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership to provide a license for a jointly sponsored street mural and patio area at Strawberry Way.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill Number 450, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the Arsenal Park at 254 40th Street.
Thank you. And Councilman Kraus, Chair of Human Resources.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill Number 451, Resolution amending Resolution 21, which will authorize the Mayor and the Director of Human Resources and Civil Service to extend the contract with the Standard Insurance Company for the administration of the city's Employee Leave Management Program by changing JDE information to align with the contract legislation.
Thank you. And Councilman Lavelle, Chair of Finance and Law.
President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill Number 452, Resolution authorizing the issuing of a warrant in favor of Lynette Letterman in the amount of $4,000 plus non-economic relief in the form of expanding the scope of the city's no discrimination, no harassment protections to include employees on the staff of city council members, and to attempt to extend the jurisdiction of the Pittsburgh CHR to all elected officials, including but not limited to members of council in full and final settlement of litigation filed at CHR and EEOC.
Thank you. And Councilman O'Connor, Chair of Public Safety Services. Councilman Lavelle for Councilman O'Connor.
President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill Number 453, Resolution amending Resolution Number 358, which authorized the Mayor and Director of the Department of Public Safety to enter into an amended agreement with the Pittsburgh Public Safety Supply, Inc. for the provision of uniforms, duty equipment, and related tailoring and embroidering services for the Department of Public Safety by extending the term for one additional year. Bill Number 454, Resolution authorizing the Mayor and Director of the Department of Public Safety on behalf of the city to enter into a professional services agreement with Pennsylvania Resources Council for waste management services in conjunction with the City of Pittsburgh's Independence Day Festival at an amount not to exceed $7,500. Bill Number 455, Resolution authorizing the Mayor and Director of the Department of Public Safety on behalf of the city to enter into a professional services agreement with Zambelli Fireworks Manufacturing Company for the display of a fireworks show in conjunction with the City of Pittsburgh's Independence Day Festival at an amount not to exceed $67,375. Bill Number 456, Resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety to receive grant funding from the Jewish Healthcare Foundation to support the enhanced HIV testing in an amount not to exceed $30,000 and authorizing expenditures for this stated purpose.
Councilman Lavelle, I have a motion to waive the rules of council for Bill 453, 454, and 455. Do you want to make that motion?
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The bills will
Aye.
appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Thank you, Councilman. And Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill number 457, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety to enter on behalf of the city into a professional services agreement with Julata for software subscription-based client relations management services at an overall cost not to exceed $139,980. Bill number 458, resolution amending resolution number 268, authorizing the mayor and directors of the Department of Innovation and Performance and Public Safety on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement with OST Inc. for short-term emergency professional IT staffing resources as needed to fulfill a number of critical IT and device-related projects by increasing the funding for additional projects.
Thank you. And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 459, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspection to enter on behalf of the city into an agreement with Women for a Healthy Environment for the receipt of $45,000 and to assist with organizing, renovation, repair, and painting training for general contractor license holders in connection with the city's lead safe ordinance. Bill number 465, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title V Traffic, Article 7, Parking, Chapter 549, Residential Parking Permit Program, Visitors Permit, Non-Residence Permits, so as to relate the issuance of residential parking permits for short-term rentals to the issuance of licenses by the Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspection, authorizing the operation of short-term rentals in the city of Pittsburgh.
Thank you. And myself, Chair of Hearings, I have one appointment to the Parking Authority. Madam Clerk.
Council President Kell Smith presents Bill number 460, resolution appointing Kimberly Lucas to serve as a member of the Board of Directors for the Pittsburgh Parking Authority for a term to expire April 30th, 2023.
Thank you. And can we have a motion to read, receive, and file?
So moved.
No, it's to approve.
Well, they're just notifying us. We don't have to approve it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Unless council members want to interview. No? Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, Madam President, may I?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure how she's serving if we're only now being notified of her appointing. I'm confused.
So Madam Clerk commented during the week that it should come over in a different fashion, but I didn't want to take away council's vote if council wanted to have an opportunity to interview, or the opportunity to interview. So Madam Clerk, do you want to address it?
So Councilman Kraus, this statute actually says that it's a confirming. It came over from the administration as an appointing, but in the statute it does indicate that it's a confirming. It does not require council's approval. However, that's how the administration submitted it.
Thanks, Madam President. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. So do we have a motion to approve in a second?
We did, but
Sorry,
read, receive, and file. I'm sorry.
We could probably, I just feel that putting it into the record incorrectly maybe is not our best call. So if we wanted to have a written amendment, we could do that before the end of the meeting, Madam Clerk. Is that possible?
So we'll do that at the end of the meeting.
Would you mind the clerk's office just giving us the correct language?
Yeah, and this is not her fault. This is my fault. I didn't want to take away council's opportunity.
Sure, we could easily motion to amend before the end of the meeting and then pass it as a confirmation.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
I would agree with that, Madam President. Yep. And Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Madam Clerk. And then we'll now move on to our unfinished business. We'll come back to that, Madam Clerk, right? Okay. We have unfinished business. Any unfinished business before council? Seeing none, the next order of business is reports of committee for final action. We'll start with Councilman Lavelle, Committee on Finance and Law.
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Lavelle presents Bill number 443, report of the Committee on Finance and Law for June 8th with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 378, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Block and Associates LLC for services related to the employment matter for an amount not to exceed $9,800. Bill number 396, resolution further amending and supplementing resolution number 855 entitled Adopting and Approving the 2012 Capital Budget and the 2012 through 2017 Capital Improvement Program by transferring $1,000 within District 4 neighborhood needs from Brookline Memorial Park to Volunteers Field. Bill number 397, resolution further amending resolution number 719 entitled Providing for an agreement or use of existing agreement and or contracts for the purchase of materials, supplies, equipment, and or services for various projects in connection with the Neighborhood Needs Program in Council District 4, and providing for the payment of costs by transferring $1,000 within District 4 neighborhood needs from Brookline Memorial Park to Volunteers Field. Bill number 408, resolution providing for a professional services agreement or existing agreement for consultant services, but not limited to auditing, accounting, and technical services for the City Controller's Office at a cost not to exceed $150,000.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, noes 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. That moves us on to Councilman Corey O'Connor, Committee on Public Safety Services. Councilman Lavelle for Councilman O'Connor.
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 444, report of the Committee on Public Safety Services for June 8th with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 409, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of public safety to enter into several sponsorship agreements for the Richard S. Caligari Great Race. Bill number 410, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into sponsorship agreements for the City of Pittsburgh Independence Day Festival. Bill number 431, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety to enter on behalf of the city into a professional services agreement with Matrix Consulting Group in order to conduct a staffing and utilization study for the city's Bureau of Police in an overall cost not to exceed $180,000.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills?
Madam President.
Councilman. Councilman Kraus?
Thank you, Madam President. Just as to speak to Bill 431, I just would like to recognize and thank Councilman Lavelle, our finance chair, in his support in returning these funds back to our capital budget in the upcoming budget when we craft our capital dollars. I believe the majority of colleagues believe our training facility is an important step to take, especially at these troubling times. But I appreciated Councilman Lavelle's remarks that he would be supportive in restoring the funds when we craft our capital budget. And I just wanted to say that, recognize him for it, and that I appreciate it. I too will be supportive of the restoration of these funds in our upcoming capital budget. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anything else from members? Councilman Wilson.
Yeah, we're voting on 431, right?
The committee under
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Okay, I just want to mention.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make comment on 431 because
Okay.
431 is the one where we're entering into a contract with Matrix Consulting. Just for clarification, this isn't the one where, this is when we're going out and we're getting to get some, the police numbers on how many officers and how many at the desk, how many uniformed.
Yes.
Okay. This, so I just want to make a comment in regards to some questions that I asked that the administration did follow up on, and also the public safety director, in terms of co-response and alternative response and the experience the group has. So I was happy to see that there is that experience and is in the scope of work. So I'm looking forward to that expanded information. So thanks.
Thank you, Councilman. Anything else from members? The bills are not seeing none. The bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Anthony Coghill, Committee on Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 445, reported to the Committee on Public Works for June 8th with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 394, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to apply for a grant from the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission's Livability through Smart Transportation Program to provide funding for the West End Trolley Trail. The grant proposal includes an ask of $800,000 with a local match of $325,000 to come out of the West End Trolley Trail Fund for a total project of $1,125,000. Bill number 395, resolution providing for a supplemental agreement for services during construction with Trans Associates Engineering Consultants, Inc. for the CBD Signals Phase 4 project at a cost not to exceed $2,419,451.93, an increase of $138,312.15 from the previously executed agreement. Bill number 428, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of mobility and infrastructure to enter into a license agreement with the Allegheny County to provide access for the city to detour bicycle trail facilities during certain city construction activities along McKean Street.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, I just want to thank the current administration and the previous administration, Senator Fontana and State Representative Deasy, for the funding that they've helped us acquire for the trolley trail in the West End. It's been a project that I started 3 years before I was ever elected, at least 3 years. So all to get a trail of recycled material. So anyway, I just want to thank everyone for the continued commitment to getting this finally done. And seeing none, no other comments, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage, vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to Councilman Bruce Kraus, Committee on Human Resources.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Kraus presents Bill number 446, reported to the Committee on Human Resources for June 8 with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 406, resolution amending Resolution 828, which authorized the mayor and director of the Department of Human Resources and Civil Service Commission to enter into an agreement with Connect Your Care, LLC, for services relating to the administration of the city's Pittsburgh Flexible Spending Account Program by extending the existing contract for another year.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the title of the bills. Was there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus. Aye. Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bill having received the legally required number vote is finally passed. That moves us on to Councilman Bobby Wilson, Committee on Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Madam
Councilman?
President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 447, report of the Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for June 8, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 65, resolution amending resolution number 863 entitled Adopting and Approving the 2019 CDBG Program by transferring remaining funds from the James Street Step Reconstruction Project to the Northside Christian Health Center, $90,220.54. Bill, that's it.
Thank you. You have heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And that moves us on to our last committee of the day is Councilwoman Deborah Gross, Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs.
Madam President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 448, report of the Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs for June 8, 2022, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 377, resolution further amending resolution number 863, as amended, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2019 Capital Budget, the 2019 CDBG Program, the 2019 through 2024 Capital Improvement Program by reducing public safety training facilities by $808,090 and increasing major developments by $808,090. Bill number 398, resolution further amending resolution number 840, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2020 Capital Budget and the 2020 CDBG Program and the 2020 through 2025 Capital Improvement Program by reducing public safety training facilities by $191,910 and increasing major developments by $191,910. Bill number 400, resolution authorizing the URA to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in and to the publicly owned properties in the 13th Ward of the city, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, to 2545 East Hill Drive, 2514 Park Hill Drive, and 2508 Park Hill Drive, Council District Number 9. Bill number 401, resolution authorizing the URA to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in and to the publicly owned properties in the 20th Ward of the city, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, Herschel Street, Weston Way, Hanker Street, 922, 920, and 0, and 915 Elkin Street, and Fairview Avenue, Council District Number 2. Bill number 402, resolution authorizing the URA to acquire all the city's right, title, and interests, if any, in and to the publicly owned properties in the 12th Ward of the city, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, Meadow Street and Lincoln Avenue, Council District Number 9. Bill number 403, resolution authorizing the URA to acquire all the city right, title, and interests, if any, in and to the publicly owned properties in the 26th Ward of the city, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, properties 243 and 247 Kennedy Avenue, Council District Number 1. Bill number 404, resolution authorizing the URA to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in and to the publicly owned property in the 12th Ward of the city, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, properties at 639 Lincoln Avenue, Council District Number 9. Bill number 405, resolution authorizing the URA to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in and to the publicly owned properties in the 5th Ward of the city, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, properties at Wichita Way and 3348 Milwaukee Street, Council District Number 6.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion on the bills? And I'll just thank Councilman Kraus for noting that and holding up the bill till we got a little bit more comfort level with the bill for the public safety training facility. And With that said, any further discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith, President.
Aye.
Ayes 8, no 0.
Thank you. The bills having received the legally required number of votes are finally passed. And under motions and resolutions, I need an amendment, motion to amend Bill 0460.
So
Madam
moved.
President,
Yes.
motion to amend 2022-0460.
Okay, in a second.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion, a second. Do you want to read it?
Bill number 460, resolution informing City Council of appointing Kimberly Lucas as a member of the Board of Directors for the Pittsburgh Parking Authority for a term to expire April 30th of 2023.
Thank you.
Motion to read, receive, and file, please, Madam President.
Thank you. In a second.
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 And all in favor?
Aye.
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 And Kimberly Lucas that's confirmed. Okay. And then our next order of business or meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1:30, Council will hold our Zoom-only executive session relative to Bill 407, Prime Gov. Also, this afternoon, starting at 2 p.m., Council will hold an in-person briefing with sessions at 2 and 2:30 with the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. Tomorrow, Wednesday, June 15th at 10 a.m., Council will hold our standing committees meeting, and Councilman Lavelle will chair. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. Also, this Thursday, June 16th at 6 p.m. at the Southside Healthy Active Living Center, located on 12th and Bingham Streets in the Southside, Council will hold another in-person only public hearing on the city's proposed annexation of Wilkinsburg. Speaker registration closes at 3 p.m. on June 16th. I'd also like to schedule a briefing on that, Madam Clerk, on the Wilkinsburg annexation of the process and how it's going. To register to speak at these meetings and hearings, please fill out the sign-up form on the Council's meeting webpage by the deadline. You may also call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. And before I turn over to members, I want to introduce our new Community Affairs Office people. Do you want to come up and introduce yourselves for the public? Your name and neighborhood. Starting with you, Missy. Yeah. All of you, come up. Just say your name and neighborhood.
Just the name and neighborhood? Yeah. I am Dr. Melissa Ann Rossiter. I am a resident of District 2, Madam President's District, Mount Washington. And I am ready to serve, and I am delighted and honored to be here.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Diane Hobson. I reside in Councilman Coghill's district, and I'm a part of the new committee. I'm just excited about being here and working in the city of Pittsburgh.
Hello, Brian Stahl. Just an honor to be working with you all. Oh, is it coming through? I live in Councilwoman Gross's district in Lawrenceville. I'm just looking forward to being a resource for all of you. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Skylar Schaefer. I reside in Councilman Wilson's district in Marshall Shalen. I'm very excited to be here, so thank you for having me.
Thank you. So you might be seeing them out in the community a little bit, but they will definitely be starting a council newsletter and some other things that members require or request for them to do in their districts. So with that said, is there anything from members?
Madam President, may I?
Yeah. Councilman Kraus and then Councilman Wilson. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam President. So by now, I'm sure it is no secret that on Friday night from 1 to about 3:30 a.m., Mayor Gainey, myself, our public safety director, his chief of staff, and a number of other people, Bob Charlin, my chief of staff, walked East Carson Street. And so I just want to take the time to publicly acknowledge the mayor's engagement and his desire to see things as they are firsthand. And thank him for that. The crowds were lighter than expected. I think a lot of that has to do with the over coverage of what is taking place in 6 blocks. I like to say the disruption is directly related to 7 establishments located in a 6-block area of a 33-block business district that's on the National Historic Registry as one of the most significant business districts in the nation. And it puts it in perspective, I hope. My conversations largely with press coverage of what is taking place on East Carson is to be reminding them of exactly that and to please begin reporting it as such, that the idea that the South Side is somehow imploding and it is no longer safe to come there is a fallacy. And I, for one, am pushing back on that mischaracterization. I can't say the word. But back to Mayor Gainey and coming to the street, I didn't honestly know what to expect. That's the truth of the matter. What I found was Mayor Gainey definitely had his own style. I found him to be engaging. I found him to be asking all the right questions of all the right people. And although was not surprised that the mayor found it to be intolerable. And throughout the time we spent walking the street, and we walked and visited individual establishments, spoke of the history of the establishments, the impact they have on the street and the neighborhood. But as we walked, I kept saying to the mayor, I'm really sorry that the crowds are not quite what we would have expected on a normal night. And the mayor kept repeating, I don't need to see anything else. This is enough. I don't need to see any more. This is enough. This needs to stop. And so I think it's important at this time to recognize the efforts and the impact really that they had in terms of the discussion of what's taking place and what solutions are to rectify the problem, not just short term but long term. And the mayor is coming to the Market House tonight. He will be bringing a number of city department directors and public safety officials along with him, members of his staff. I know his chief of staff will be coming. Rebecca will be coming. And we will be meeting at 6 o'clock at the Market House. There are a little over 100 people registered as I say this to come to hear from the mayor tonight. I am encouraging everyone to please come, but at the same time, recognizing that we are a very passionate people and we fight passionately, like all neighborhoods do, for our neighborhoods, that I ask that we be mindful and respectful, and that we show the mayor and our invited guests the best of who we are and why we fight so passionately for this South Side that we all know and love. So thank you, Madam President. I appreciate you giving me the time to make the comments, and we look forward to seeing the mayor, the public safety officials, the directors, his team that comes tonight, and we encourage everyone in the South Side to please come out and attend. So thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. Anything else from members? Councilman Wilson, I'm sorry. Yes, Councilman Wilson.
Turn it on. Thank you, Madam President. So I just wanted to comment about the Sue Murray pool this summer. I want to thank everyone that reached out to my office and expressed their concerns about the decision that was made to not open the pool immediately this summer. This summer, the mayor's office announced that they're opening 2 of the 3 pools on the north side. So Jack Stack and Riverview will be open. And, last year, when there could only be 1 pool open, I pushed for Sue Murray to be open because I know how important it is to the north side residents for a host of reasons. Underserved residents use the pool. It's the most accessible by transit. It's walkable. You could even walk from Manchester over to the pool. So some people don't know the name, but Sue Murray Pool resides right at the bottom of Cedar Avenue, across from the Sunoco, the Giant Eagle, Allegheny Commons Apartments. It's right in the Commons Park, the historic park on the north side. So, it's just a very important pool. Same conversations with the Department of Parks and Recreation and the leadership staff. The mayor's office, I learned that the decision not to open Sue Murray was motivated by two things, and it was amount to a high number of calls to police last summer, and then also not enough lifeguards that had signed up for the vacancy spots that were available at the pool. So it's been a hugely contentious issue over the past few weeks, and in the past 2 weeks since that decision was announced, the Northsiders have been deeply upset about this, and have been, quite frankly, it's the most active pool on the north side. All our pools are active, but Sue Murray is one of the most active ones, if not in the city of Pittsburgh. And so my constituents count on this, and count on this pool, and count on us to find creative ways to open and staff all of our city pools. Sue Murray is a critical asset to these communities. I serve for the 10 weeks that it will be open in the summer, and families count on it, to cool off, to swim, to have a great time. The summer camps count on it. Also, it's very walkable to many different summer camps, especially ACAC and different urban impact camps that take place. So we'd like to deliver this for the north side, and it also serves an underserved community close by. It's just essential that we activate this space instead of letting it stand all summer as an unopened pool. So for all these reasons, it's just, I think we all know, after hearing just how important the pool is, it's an unacceptable situation that's happening, and we're all going to work towards opening this. We had a good meeting with folks that are concerned Northsiders yesterday, and it was a solution-oriented meeting, and I'm very happy to see that the community joined together and really access their government, literally press government to let them know the answers and solutions that can be created to open this pool. So I appreciate all the work and leadership of the staff and the mayor, Gainey's office, to help us find a way to open this pool, and appreciative of all the attention and hard work that Director Vargas has given. So I'm looking forward to announcing some good news soon, but until then, I'm asking all of you, colleagues, constituents, and also everyone listening to me now that, help us find lifeguards. And if we can get enough lifeguards as soon as possible, we're a lot closer to opening this pool as an immediate answer, working with the mayor's office and also the parks department to give a shuttle that would run hourly from Sue Murray Pool to one of the other 2 pools on the north side. So appreciate everyone listening to me. I just want to take a moment to express the frustration of the community, but then also just the current situation and how everyone's trying to work together to make it work. So thanks.
Thank you. Anything else from members? I'm just going to make a few comments, but I just want to say I think that we all are struggling with the pools that aren't open. For me, it's Sheridan and Banksville, one who has a desperate need for, a lot of young people needing a place to go, and the other in Banksville who pays a lot of taxes, and they don't see a lot for their return on their investment in the city. They don't even ask for a lot, but the one thing they like to have is their pool open. So I think that, but Westwood and Mount Washington will be open, but they're the highest used pools. But I do think that this is something that we talked about last year. We were hoping that paying more would attract more people. Obviously, I think we only opened 3 more additional pools, so that's obviously doesn't seem to be the issue. One of the things we talked about last year was giving college credits to students who might come and become a lifeguard for the city of Pittsburgh, especially those that want to be phys ed teachers. I just think that there's other ways to go about it, and we've had enough time that we should be starting to look at some of those ways to open all the pools. And as far as the south side, I feel for Councilman Kraus. I know he's been going down there and he's been doing a lot there, but I am going to pay attention to what happens in the other zones, because I fear that we're pulling officers from other zones to address issues in the south side. And I'm starting to see things happen in some of the areas that don't typically happen, crimes don't typically happen in. So I want to make sure that we're helping Councilman Kraus the best we can, but I think the bottom line is we need to have a class on. We should have had a class on, and I think that we need to do some things a little bit differently so that we're addressing, I don't know what all those answers are, but I do think that we need to address his very significant concerns, because Southside is an amazing place, and we all know that. We love the Southside, but we also know that we don't want to see things starting to happen in other areas and other zones, because we're pulling officers from every place, because we are down a lot of officers. With that said, anything else from members?
Yeah, Madam President, may I chime in on that?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So, how do I want to say this? We collectively, the powers that be, continue to view the solution to East Carson Street by adding more police, when for years all of the data argues for reduced crowds, not increased police, but reduced crowds. That we, with about 850 officers right now serving without having, military duty or personal time or leave of any kind, we're around 850, give or take. We could put all 850 officers within the Carson Street corridor, and they would still be outnumbered 2-1, and in some instances 3-1. And with 850 armed officers, if you have even 700 people that are carrying, either legally or illegally, carrying firearms, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. We will never police our way out of this problem. Having said that, number one priority is to return order to the public space. When you have large crowds of underage, largely carrying firearms, whether legally or illegally, open containers of alcohol, hard alcohol, being consumed on the street. Last month, we collected, through our clean team, 245 empty fifth of liquor bottles from that main street, from those 7 blocks, I should say. And so restoring order to the public space is absolutely the number one priority. But there are proven strategies that are effective, that have been proven in major cities throughout this United States as to how to restore order to the public space. And while policing is definitely a part of it, and I will not minimize the fact that you need police officers to be engaged, they are not the primary option to restoring order to the public space. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman, and I think that most of us agree with most of what you said, but I do think that we are seeing officers that are being pulled from zones, so that, to me, that's important.
Yes.
So however we're going to address it, I hope that we address it in a way that keeps all neighborhoods safe. That's it. Anything else from members? Seeing none, can I have a motion to excuse the absent member and approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Be safe, everyone.